Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Let's start with the news today. McConnell says vast majorities of Republicans totally behind Ukraine. Washington's Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell said Sunday that he believes the vast majorities of Republicans wholly support Ukraine in its defense against Russia's ongoing attacks, responding to comments from a small faction of the House Republicans who have criticized the United States' support for the country. In an interview with Face the Nations, McConnell was asked about comments from GOP Reps, Majority Taylor Greene of Georgia and Madison's Cawthorn of North Carolina, who indicated they oppose the U.S. providing assistance to Ukraine in its war against Russia. Cawthorn was firm calling Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky a threat and claiming the Ukrainian government is incredible corrupt and incredible evil. Greene, meanwhile, said in an address on Facebook that the U.S. should not be sending weapons and assistance to help Ukraine in a world they can win. There are some lonely voices out there that are in a different place, McConnell told Face the Nations, though he did not mention Cawthorn or Greene by name. The vast majorities of the Republican parties, writ large, both in Congress and across the countries, are totally behind the Ukraine and urging the president to take this step quicker, to be bolder. There may be a few lonely voices to the side. I would pay much attention to them. Cawthorn and Greene are largely outlier among congressional Republicans. Through their comments drew a mute response from House Republicans leader. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy said Cawthorn was wrong and is Russian President Vladimir Putin who is a thug, but said he still supports the North Carolina Congressman's elections debate. Still, many Republicans have urged President Biden to boost U.S. support for Ukraine and an omnibus government spending package that includes $13.6 billion in humanitarian and security assistance for Ukraine. Eastern Europe countries passed both chambers with bipartisan support. McConnell said if he were majority leader, he would have brought the supplement funding for Ukraine to the floor as a standalone bill and predicted virtually every one of my members would voted for it. 31 Republican senators voted against the spending package that included the aid. In addition to the $13.6 billion approved by Congress, the U.S. had provided more than $2 billion in military assistance to Ukraine since the start of the Biden's administration. But McConnell said if Ukraine needs more, we ought to give them more. This is way to have a no-fly zone. In fact, they have these weapon systems, ground-to-air weapon systems. Give them a fighting chance to control the air. The shoot-down planes and others that are seeking to control the air without the U.S. having a no-fly zone on our own pilots in there, the Kentucky Republican said. McConnell and said Biden has generally done the right thing, but never soon enough with Ukraine and pushed the president to step up his game. Ukrainians have killed more Russians in 3 weeks than we lost in Afghanistan and Iraq in 20 years, he said. I think we ought to go into this believing the Ukrainians can actually win, and the way they win is for us to get this defensive weapon system to them as rapidly as possible. To bolster Ukraine defenses against Russia attack, the U.S. has provided more than 600 Stinger anti-aircraft missiles, roughly 2,600 Javelin anti-tank missiles, shotgun, machine guns, and ammunition. Mr. Biden last week announced an additional $800 million in security assistance to Ukraine, which includes 800 anti-aircraft systems, drones, 20 million rounds of ammunition, and 9,000 anti-armor systems. But Zelensky made an emotional appeal directly to Congress last week for the U.S. to create a no-fly zone over Ukraine's skies, a request Mr. Biden's opposers seen it would force the U.S. to directly engage with the Russian militaries. Many in Congress also do not support imposing a no-fly zone over Ukraine, but split with the Biden administration over its rejection of the proposals from Poland to transfer MiG fighter jets to Ukraine. McConnell said he is perplexed as to why the U.S. couldn't help get the Polish war plans into Ukraine. The Ukrainians have plenty of pilots that know how to fly them, he said. In those Eastern Bloc countries, they have Soviet ground-to-air system that the Ukrainians know how to work. We have the resources given to the president to get those weapons in there as rapidly as possible. In the 25 days since the Russian launched its invasion of Ukraine, Russian forces have struggled in their effort to take over the capital city of Kyiv, and their advance outside other major cities is largely stalled. The civilian death toll in Ukraine, though, continued to rise with Russia's unrelenting attacks. In the port cities of the Mariupol, Ukrainian officials have accused Russia of bombing an art school where 400 people were sheltering, marking their second attack of the public building, where civilians were taking shelter in less than a week. Russian forces struck theaters in Mariupol, where more than 1,300 people were believed to be inside last week. The United Nations Human Rights Office estimates Saturday that nearly 900 civilians have been killed in Ukraine, and another nearly 1,400 wounded. Though the death toll is likely much higher. This is the end of our news today. If you like this video, please like and subscribe for our channel. Thanks for watching and see you next time.